Hi guys, this is my first video showing a build in SWTOR. Just thought about this build a lot, thought it was pretty good, so decided I'd share it with everyone. This is a tanking slash DPS build for an assassin, and leave some comments if you see anything here that you think can improve it. So here we go. I'm just going to put all the points in there first, and then I'll give an explanation afterwards as to why I picked everything that I did. I think it'll just make things easier. Alright, so I would not suggest using this to level. Deception is probably the best leveling tree, but for PvP I really like this. You start out with Charge Mastery, so you've got a little more survivability there. You're going to be using Dark Charge with this build. This talent right here does increase your defense, which gives you some survivability, but more importantly, I like this because of the force that you gain from every time that you shield. You never really see it, but if you try this build without those talents, you definitely can tell a difference then. You run out of force a lot quicker without it. Here, Thrash is going to be your fallback ability. You're using it like 2/3 of the time, so good to have it do 6% more damage. For PvP, this is kind of a must-have, especially if you plan on being a ball carrier in Hut Ball. There are times where I'll make a run to the end zone from the mid area, and I'll use force speed twice during that time because it's only a 20-second cooldown with this talent. So get it. This is just so Dark Charge is helping you out whenever it can. So just throw 2 points in there. Damage dealt by lightsaber charges. You're not going to be doing damage with Dark Charge really. You're doing that more so for the healing, so I don't throw anything there. And 3% endurance, big whoop. This is also must-have, like I said, especially if you're going to be a Hut Ball carrier. Just being able to get rid of all movement impairing effects by throwing force speed on is really helpful. This talent is key to this build in my mind. It basically makes it so that every time you use shock, you're critting, which is pretty big. Here, it just increases your stealth detection. I mean, yes, defense by 2% is nice, especially combined with this. So you've got 6% more defense overall. Some survivability, but not that big of a deal. It's mostly for the stealth detection. Here, you got to have this. You know, every time your force regenerates, every time it ticks, you're getting 8. This brings it up to 10 or 11, so pretty substantial. This is just a great heal to have. Throw it on early on in any battle that you can. Yeah, kind of a no-brainer. This increases the amount of damage shock it's doing, so that combined with this makes shock a pretty hefty ability. Spike, basically giving you another stun or interrupt, is huge. On top of that, giving you 20% more armor. On top of the 150% armor rating increase from Dark Charge is pretty huge. Force pull, again, must have. I don't know how many times a Hut Ball carrier was going to score on the other team and I pulled him away and stopped them from scoring. Also, if you're playing on Civil War or Void Star, being able to pull someone away who's planting a bomb or trying to get a turret is pretty big. Alright, here, Duplicity, I threw 3 points there because this build is basically based around doing good constant damage, but you never see any big numbers. Being able to have Duplicity gives you that one ability where you can hit some big numbers besides Assassinate. This way you've got you know, an ability, and especially paired with the 3 points here. I mean, when I'm in a battle with someone, as soon as Energize procs, I throw out Shock, which half the time is doing another 50% damage and everything because of the talent points here. You throw Shock out, it's going to crit, it's going to do 15% more, and then it's also going to increase your melee crit chance by pretty much 10% for 10 seconds, which is huge. So in my rotation, I'm coming out with Thrash. I'm doing it a couple times. This is proccing. I'm shocking him. I'm getting the crit. And then I'm using Spike either as an interrupt or just in any kind of battle. Get around behind him. And by the time you've done that many abilities, this will have procced. It always does. And you get around and you can get some pretty hefty numbers, especially combined with the fact that you're doing 10% more damage to them when they're being controlled by Spike. Then you come in here, just 2 points here in order to get to the next tree or the next tier. Reduces all damage by 2%. Not a big deal, but it helps. It's nice. This is also big. You will run out of force quickly without this ability. Throw 2 points here, and then playing off of the rotation and the auto crit with shock, which procs this, which is 10% more crit chance. You're also doing 50% more crit damage every time that you crit, and you've got 10% more chance to do it. So basically in this build, there's a lot of CC, there's a lot of survivability, and there's also a pretty good amount of damage too. I will say that this does not have much applicability in terms of AoE situations. You've still got, what is it, like overcharge or whatever. I forget the name of the ability, but you've only got one AoE ability. You can, if you want, take 3 points out of here or possibly here, throw them and get Death Field if you'd rather have some more AoE abilities. And if you want on top of that, you could even take away some points here, throw them here. This now gives you 3 stuns to use, but you've got no abilities other than Assassinate that can really make some big numbers for you. And the only other issue I want to go over that I think people will possibly talk about or bring up is that I'm not getting Dark Ward. Talking with a friend of mine at work who also plays this game, yes, it increases shield chance by 15%, which is nice, but you know, when I first started playing in the Darkness Tree, I would throw the point there, and at most, you know, I would see 2 charges be used, which just means that, you know, you're shielding the attack. It's not really saving you that much in terms of damage taken. And in situations where you're going to have 8 charges used, I mean, you're being hit so much that the fact that you're shielding these things isn't going to matter. You're still dead. So I just chose to save the talent point and throw it somewhere else. So yeah, that's the explanation of my build I'm using right now. Like I said, you can tweak it, remove some points, depending on your playstyle and what you want to do. But this is the build I'm using right now, and so far I've been having really good results. It's super fun playing, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. Enjoy.